Earlier today, in the comment section of one of my videos, a viewer asked me a very specific question that I wanted to address tonight. One William Dickey, and I'm going to show how mature I can be here by not making fun of his name, Dickey, but he asked me, what's the deal with revolvers chambered in semi-automatic calibers? He continues his question and his point by saying, why would you want to take a revolver that has a more capable round, something that has more potential for power and performance, and neuter it into a semi-automatic caliber? Because let's face it, semi-automatic calibers are compromises. They are rounds that were designed to fit inside the handle of a gun without making the gun too unwieldy. Revolvers don't have that restriction, so therefore the rounds can be bigger, they can have more potential. So why would you limit that potential? I mean, you can already get rounds that are anywhere from cowboy loads up to high power rounds and have the level of recoil you would need in a revolver. So changing it down to the compromised semi-automatic round just doesn't make sense to a lot of people. And it's not just the caliber that's a problem either. You run into other issues when you put semi-automatic rounds in a revolver. You run into ejection issues, you run into crimp issues, etc. But I'm not going to go into those in this video. I want to talk about just why do they even exist? Why do semi-automatic chambered revolvers even exist? Well, I'm going to have to agree with him. It doesn't make a lot of sense to take a gun like a revolver, that is by far the better gun, and neuter it by putting a caliber in it that is a compromise. This gun does not require a compromised caliber, so why put one in it? Well, if you ask me, there's three types of people that usually want this type of gun. There's people that have, well, they don't have a dicky like you, they have a vagina, women. Then there's men that should have a vagina, pussies. And then there's the third person, the person that just doesn't know any better. These are the people that want this type of gun. But there is one reason that I will concede that is a good reason to want a revolver chambered in a semi-automatic round. Now, it doesn't make as much sense when the gun is, say, like this size. If you've got a full-size revolver like a K-frame or an L-frame or bigger, that just doesn't make sense, especially if it's got like a 4-inch long barrel or bigger. It doesn't make sense to neuter this gun down to a semi-automatic caliber. Why would you do that? But it does make a little bit more sense if it's a gun like this size. If it's like a J-frame size or something you can carry easily, even on your ankle, wherever. I don't like ankle carry, and I've got a good reason why I don't like ankle carry, and I've covered in videos before. But a gun this size, you can carry it anywhere, pocket, ankle, etc. So this makes more sense to have it in a caliber like a semi-automatic caliber. And the reason for that is some people, for some weird reason, still carry semi-automatic guns. They love these things for some reason, even though they are far inferior to revolvers. They just love them, so they carry them. And plus, they're cheap, so a lot of police departments and stuff, force them upon their officers. So there's a lot of people out there carrying 9mm guns, 40 caliber guns, etc. as their primary gun. Now, most of these people aren't fools. They know that by carrying such an inherently flawed machine as a semi-automatic handgun, eventually it's going to fail. And, they're going to have to throw it at someone to distract them while they retrieve their backup gun, which is almost always a revolver, a small J-frame revolver or similar. And the reason they want those guns in 9mm and 40, etc., is so that they can reload those revolvers with the bullets from the magazine for their semi-auto. They want their backup gun to be the same caliber as their primary carry gun. So that is kind of a legitimate reason to have these types of guns, these semi-automatic chambered revolvers. That's the only real good reason I can see that they exist. The only real reason is so that once these people that carry a semi-automatic as their primary, once they throw that paperweight at someone, those extra magazines they have for it with ammo in it can still be used in their far superior backup revolver.